Hello everyone, happy Friday. Hope you have been able to keep up with stuff on the channel. If not, make sure you head over and check out anything you might have missed. Hit that subscribe button if you're new and if you enjoy my content. And don't forget the notification bell so that way you are aware when I post a new video. Some Rebel Moon stuff to talk about today. Alright, you might have seen this story floating around yesterday on social media. There seems to have been a hiccup with the tabletop role-playing game that was being developed as part of the Rebel Moon universe. The tabletop role-playing game publisher Evil Genius has filed a lawsuit against Netflix. This is in connection, like I said, with the tabletop role-playing game. It's not the same as the video game that's going to be available on the Netflix game server. That's a separate thing. This was a tabletop role-playing game. So Evil Genius was hired to create a franchise tabletop role-playing game for Zack Snyder's Rebel Moon universe. And they have alleged in their lawsuit that after working alongside Netflix and Zack Snyder, Netflix unceremoniously terminated its contract. Now, Evil Genius had put in a whole lot of extensive work into this role-playing game. It went beyond just having the game. It was really supposed to expand on the Rebel Moon universe. The complaint says that they were nearly done. There was 2 sellable products, a 430-page player's guide, a 337-page game master's guide as well. They were in the final editing stages. And then there was also a document created called the Rebel Moon World Bible, which included original details about the setting and characters of Rebel Moon and was being used as a reference for Evil Genius during the development of the game. So they really, the founder actually released a video that you might have seen on social media as well, kind of explaining the situation from their perspective. And he said they took a really deep dive into the universe of Rebel Moon, going back like 10,000 years into its history, and it really was very vast. It also mentioned that, during one of the streams with the Nerd Queens, one of the AFSP streams, Zack had mentioned that they were developing a role-playing game and that he was having a good time working with them. This article mentions that Zack was in frequent contact with them, and then there was pretty much daily interactions with Zack Snyder's team regarding the game as well. Alright, so here's where we get into the details, or some of the details that we know so far about the conflict between Netflix and Evil Genius and where the breach of contract allegedly happened. Netflix terminated the agreement with Evil Genius based on the claim that Evil Genius breached confidentiality provisions. There are 2 instances where this breach could have occurred, according to the article that I'm reading. According to the complaint, the first instance occurred when Evil Genius Games, alongside 2 Netflix employees, so both parties, distributed images during a February trade show as part of a retailer buzz campaign. So to promote the game so that retailers can have a heads up and can pre-order it, you know what I mean? The second time was when Evil Genius Games uploaded 2 non-final teaser cover images onto the back end of its site for the purposes of retailer pre-order, and through administrative error accidentally made the portal accessible to the public. That's what they say. These 2 non-final images were uploaded to social media in May, and it was after this that Netflix terminated its agreement with Evil Genius Games. So I guess that's where Netflix is saying there was a breach of contract. Also, according to the complaint in June, Netflix sent another message to Evil Genius saying that the World Bible, which includes significant chunks of world building and development that greatly expands the Rebel Moon universe far beyond the script, quote, belongs solely and exclusively to Netflix. Again, there it says this was supposed to expand the universe beyond just what we're going to see in the films. And Netflix is claiming that the information in that World Bible, the IP basically belongs to Netflix only, and that they, I guess, did not want them to be using it. Now, Netflix also allegedly offered Evil Genius $50,000 for this property, but an agreement was not met. Evil Genius wants to release the game and receive compensation for its work. The founder said that the proffered money would not cover the expenses incurred developing this game. They feel like it should be, a lot more than that, and they should be compensated for the work that they actually did, not just being paid for the property, the World Bible. They say that, they're confident they would have sold millions of dollars worth of game products, and I don't doubt that. They continue to say, our aim is to ensure our team is recognized for their fantastic work and that we can release this game for millions TTRPG enthusiasts to enjoy. It's disheartening to see Netflix backpedal on content that was jointly showcased and had received their prior consent. We urge our supporters to contact Netflix and Zack Snyder to push for the release of this game, and they also started a petition that people can sign to show their support for wanting to get the game released as well. It's also being included in this article that Zack Snyder and multiple Netflix executives routinely praised the Evil Genius work and were so enamored with the 228-page World Bible that he indicated, Zack, that he planned on incorporating substantial elements of it into the universe. Now, going back to the video game that Zack announced, this is when he announced this at Gamescom a while back, and when they released the the trailer for parts 1 and 2. That is a co-op video game that will be developed by Super Evil Megacorp and released exclusively on Netflix's game streaming service. So that's a separate game from the one that is being talked about in this lawsuit here with Evil Genius. So far, I have not seen a response or an official response from Netflix. I'm sure they will probably officially release one sometime in the near future. I just hope that whatever the situation, I hope they get it worked out. I hope that everyone is treated fairly. I hope that they are able to release this game. Again, we don't know all the details of both sides of the story, but I do hope, again, I hope that, they're able to come to some kind of agreement and get it released. And, stuff like this, sometimes just happens, bumps in the road, especially when you're trying to build out a massive universe with all of these different elements included besides just the films. There's going to be things that happen. So, maybe we'll get some more details about, Netflix's side of it or their perspective. And hopefully they can come to some kind of agreement that is fair for everybody and that gets the game released so that fans can enjoy that. And we get to see, like it says, how much it expands on the Rebel Moon universe. I think that's pretty cool. I think it's interesting that Netflix is even doing this with this property. I'm interested to see how the video game is as well. I would hate to see it end badly. I mean, of course the movies and all of that are still going to be amazing, but it's just cool that they're doing this with Rebel Moon. And so that was an interesting story that was going around yesterday. I wanted to share on the channel. There's also some interest, an interesting topic that came out, a topic of discussion that came out regarding Wonder Woman, what could have been Wonder Woman 3 with Patty Jenkins and Gal Gadot. So I think I'm going to cover that on the channel as well, so keep on the lookout for that. But in the meantime, thank you guys for all of the support. Don't forget to check out the shorts section if you're interested in those videos on my channel as well, and we will see you soon.